As it, today I will be continuing with chapter 8, that is United Nations Part 2. So in so this is like one of the most important chapters also, because we will be discussing about what are the organs of United Nations, as well as what are the other bodies, okay, that performs their duties for securing peace and security in the world. Not just peace and security, it looks after education for the children, it looks after health organization, etc. Okay, so in my last link I have already given this pie chart about which there are which different organs, okay, like there is General Assembly, there is Security Council, there is Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, the International Court of Justice, and the Secretariat. So, moving forward, let's understand what is General Assembly. The General Assembly is the main deliberative policy making and representative organ of United Nations. So, the main function, the main organ of United Nations is General Assembly. So, what does this General Assembly do? General Assembly deliberates policy making and represents the organ of United Nations. All 193, how many members are there? 193 member states are there in United Nations, are represented in General Assembly, making the only UN body with universal representation. So the General Assembly has 193 members, okay, 193 countries are the members. Each year in September, the full UN members meet in the General Assembly Hall. So what happens, like in every year of September, in the month of September, what happens, the membership, this 193 countries come, representative 193 countries is there, and representatives will be there of that particular country. They will meet in General Assembly Hall in New York, and that General Assembly is in New York for the annual General Assembly session, okay, and general debate will be there with many heads of the state attend and address. So they will have talk upon different issues. They will have a debate about what are the things that are going on there in their nation, what are the things that they want to proceed further. That are the different kinds of talks that they talk with each other. So on that meet only, what happened, decisions are on important questions such as those on peace, security, admission of new members, and budgetary matters require a two-third majority of General Assembly. So what happens, so anything that happens that want to be passed, it requires two-third majority of the member, that is total member is 193, okay, so they require two-third majority, and they talk about they take decision about the peace and security, whom new country wants to be a member, and talks about the financial things, etc. Okay, so this is General Assembly. Now let's talk about the Security Council. So this is an image representing of Security Council, where all countries had come together, representative come together, and the talk. Here is Ukraine, here is United Kingdoms. This is Security Council, okay. President, Security Council, General Assembly's president. Then Antonio Guterres will be like sitting here. A Security Council's president will be there. So much United States is there, and Egypt is there, Ethiopia is there, France. So 193 countries representative come together and have a talk. And in Security Council, what Security Council is responsible for, let's understand. Security Council has a primary responsibility under the UN Charter for the maintenance of international peace and security. What? For the same international peace security in the world. It has 15 members, okay, 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. Each members has one vote. Each members has one vote. So under the charter, all member states are obliged to comply with council's decision. So all the members needs to be like there. Okay, General Assembly we have 193. Okay, and total there are 193 members, but in Security Council we have 10 members, 5 permanent and 10 non-permanent. Okay, so it keeps on changing, but the major things that is there in United Nations is 193. Don't be like confused. Okay, the Security Council takes lead in determining the existence of a threat to the peace or act of aggression. So Security Council is that body that sees that particular country is having a threat to the peace and existence. Okay, it calls upon the parties to dispute the settle by peaceful means or by peaceful means. It means that if these are two countries, if this is India and Pakistan, they call both countries, okay, like they come in Security Council, and the head of the director or say, like uh, president of Security Council will say that no, now you have to talk for a peace dialogue. So they are the one who tries to settle the dispute by a peaceful method. And uh, it talks about the adjustment of terms of settlement. It talks about the adjustment of terms of the settlement. Means they will say that now you have to like settle your dispute in a very peaceful manner. Now these are certain settlements, these are certain settlements you need, both parties need to sign, etc. In some cases, the Security Council can resort to imposing sanctions or even authorize the use of force to maintain, restore peace and security. So now, in other terms also, in other ways also, Security Council can use force by use of force method, and they can that particular organ can even use to use force for maintaining peace and security. Means they can go for coercive method to maintain peace and security for that particular thing. Okay, now the Economic and Social Council, the word itself says as Economic and Social Council, United Nations Economic and Social Council. The Economic and Social Council is a principal body for coordination, policy review, and policy dialogue and recommendation on economic and social and environmental issues, as well as implementation of international development goals. So this is the main body that looks after the environmental issues, that look after the economic issues, that look after the social issues. Apart from that, they talk about the implementation of good policies that will be giving a developmental goals for particular country. It serves as a central mechanism. It serves for the central mechanism for the activities of United System, and it specialized agency in economic and social and environmental fields, supervising subsidiary and export body. What happened is that it is like it is a central body and looks after economic, social, and environmental policies. And apart from that, they have different branches also. Okay, and they also look after different branches also. So it has 54 membership. Be careful, General Assembly is 193. I am repeating continuously. Okay, Security Council has 15, 5 permanent and 10 non-permanent. And now Economic Council has 54 members elected by the General Assembly for overlapping a 3 years of term. It is the United Nations central platform for reflection of debate and innovative thinking on sustainable development. What are the main aims that they do? What are the objectives that they do is that the Economic and Social Council looks after, like they look after it acts as a central platform for reflection, or for they do debate, they do some innovative thinking, and they go for sustainable development, for the peace and security of the world. Now moving forward, the Trusteeship Council. We have Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council was established. This is Trusteeship Council was established on 1945 by the UN Charter. Under Chapter 10, 11 to 13. Chapter 13. Okay, so to provide international supervision for 11 trust territories that has been placed under the administration of 7 member states, and ensure that the adequate steps will be taken to prepare the territories of self-government and interdependence. Now this is the thing that trusteeship council does. Okay, but by 1994, what happened, all the trustees territories had to attain self-government and independence. The trusteeship council suspended operation on November 1994. So this trusteeship council was suspended at that particular time. By a resolution adopted in 25th May 1994, the Council amended its rules to drop the obligations to meet annually and agreed to meet on occasion required by its decision or decision of the President, or at request of the majority of the members of General Assembly or the Security Council. Now this is the change factor of 25th May 1994, that this happened, that now they want to meet not in terms of annually, but they want to meet whenever the president or president requests, president or of trusteeship council requests its majority, or when there is a when general assembly calls for it, or when security council calls for it, they will meet. These are the things that trusteeship council did. Now moving forward. Okay, the International Court of Justice. The word is justice, and we will talk about giving justice. The International Court of Justice is a principal judicial organ of United Nations. It sits at the Peace Palace in The Hague in Netherlands. It is in Netherlands. The main office is in Netherlands. It is the only one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations not located in New York. So every organ is located in New York, but this International Court of Justice is not there in New York, but it is in Netherlands. The court's role is to settle, in accordance with the international law, legal disputes. Okay, what are the role that they perform, that this International Court of Justice perform? That is, they settle down legal dispute submitted to it by states, and to give advisory opinions on legal questions referred by authorities authorized United Nations organ and specialized agency. The International Court of Justice functions in accordance with statute. Now these are the things that International Court of Justice do. Okay, because the International Court of Justice settles down legal disputes. Okay. Now the Secretariat. The Secretariat comprises of Secretary General and 10,000 of international UN staff members who carry out day-to-day work of the UN as mandated by General Assembly and the organization principal bodies. So the Secretariat comprises of the Secretary General as well as different members. Okay, many members are there, many staffs are there. Many staffs are there, so these staff come together and perform their principal, their work and organization. The Secretary General is the chief administrative officer of the organization. The Secretary General is the chief administrative officer of the organization, appointed by the General Assembly on the recommendation of Security Council for a term of 5 years, renewable term. He can be again appointed. The Secretary General is also the symbol of organization ideals and advocate of all world's people, especially poor and vulnerable. So the Secretary General is elected for 5 years of term, and again he can be elected. Okay, and what are the main functions that Secretary General talks about? He mainly focuses upon the people, especially the lives of the people who are very poor and vulnerable in the world. UN staff members are also recruited internationally and locally and work in duty station on a peacekeeping mission all around the world. But serving the cause of peace in a violent world is dangerous occupation. Since the founding of United Nations, hundreds of brave men and women have lost their lives in this and its services. So those staff members gets deployed in certain dangerous zones, so they can it's a very dangerous task, and it is like so many people have died for maintaining peace and security in the world. Now let's talk about the important agencies of United Nations. As the word says, it is like United Nations Education and Scientific Organization, UNESCO, UNICEF, United Nations International Child's Emergency Fund, World Health Organization, International Labour Organization, Food and Agriculture Organization, and International Monetary Fund. So these are the different organs, and let's understand what is UNESCO. UNESCO's this is a logo of UNESCO. The United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization was born on 16th November 1945 and has 195 members and 8 associate members, and is governed by the General Conference and the Executive Board. So this is the membership. So what are the functions? Let's talk about the UNESCO's functions. UNESCO's mission is to contribute to the building of culture of peace, eradication of poverty, sustainable development, and intercultural dialogue through education, sciences, culture, and communication, and information. So the main function is to UNESCO's main function is to contribute the building of they talk about building peace, security, eradication of poverty, sustainable development via exchanging of cultures, etc. UNESCO works to create a condition for a dialogue among civilization, cultures, and people based upon the commonly shared values. So their main function is to give they start for a dialogue. Okay, they start for a dialogue among the civilization. Different civilization are there. Chinese civilization are there, Indian civilization are, European civilization are there, African civilization are there. So these are the civilization. Those civilizations have different cultures, and the people have their own civilization. It's different culture. They come together in United Nations, UNESCO, and they have a shared value. Now international this is funds. Okay, UNICEF is a special program of United Nations devoted to aiding national efforts to improve health, nutrition, education, general welfare of children. So what does UNESCO main function is? It looks after the welfare of these particular sectors, that is health, nutrition of the people, education of the people, general welfare of the people. So it was established in 1946 to provide the relief to the children in the countries that was devastated in World War II. So what happened? How this UNESCO was emerged? UNESCO was emerged after seeing the conditions of the children in World War II. So it wanted to improve those conditions of the children. So that's why UNESCO had been developed after World War II. After 1950, the fund directed its effort towards general programs of the improvement of children's welfare, particularly in least developed countries and various emergency situations. Now, what happened is that after when UNESCO was emerged, particularly it wanted to see the welfare of least developed countries. Okay, and because in least developed countries, children are the very vulnerable stage, and in terms of emergency situation also, if there is a war, if there is natural disaster, they want to look after the children of that particularly least developed country. Now this is the logo of UNICEF. World Health Organization. So World Health Organization, who is directing the coordinating authority of health within the United Nations. It is responsible. Now let's talk about the function. It is responsible for providing leadership on global health matters, shaping the health research agenda, setting norms, standards, and articulating evidence-based policy options, providing technical support to the countries, and monitoring and assessing health trends. So these are the things that they talk about. Okay, they talk about policy making, they talk about assessing health, etc. In 21st century, the health is a state shared responsibility involving equitable access to essential care and collective defense against the transnational threat. So what happened in COVID-19, this World Health Organization played a very important role, because the world is interdependent, and who operates the mechanism that who does, it's very changing because the boundaries of public health and action has become blurred, extending to the other sectors that influence health opportunities and outcomes. So it looks after the health sector of different countries, so to provide basic medicinal facilities, or to provide certain better facilities for that developing or developed nations also. International labor organization is devoted in promoting social justice and internationally recognized human and labor rights, pursuing its founding mission to that labor peace is essential to the prosperity. Today, ILO, International Labour Organization, helps advance in creation of decent work. It helps on creation of decent work and the economic and working condition of that working people are business people, people or stake in lasting peace, prosperity, and progress. So it talks about creating of it talks about creating a decent workforce where different persons come together and work, and they can earn a sustainable livelihood for their families also. And they want to have a very cordial relations for their the business people as well as the labor for that they work in that particular company, or they work in a particular organization. They want to create an environment of peace so that there will be no problem for that, to maintain their sustenance of livelihood. It was created in 1919 as a part of Treaty of Versailles that ended World War I, to reflect the belief that universal and lasting peace can be accomplished only if it is based on social justice. So the main agenda of ILO is that it talks about maintaining peace and security only by giving social equality, social justice, I mean to say social justice to the people around the globe. Then only peace can be maintained. This says that. In 1946, ILO became a specialized agency of United Nations. Its unique tripartite structure tripartite means three. Tripartite structures gives an equal voice to the workers. It talks about equal voice of this international level organization here the conditions, here their problems from worker also, employees also, and the government also, and they provide a unique platform for promoting decent work for all women and men. They talk about promoting a different kind of work, but in a working conditions for men as well as women. Food and Agriculture Organization. Achieving food security for all is at the heart of FAO. To make sure people have regular access to enough high quality of food, lead activities, and healthy lives. There is a three mandate. Three mandate is nutrition, increase agriculture productivity, and raise the standard of living in the people. Now this says that what happened is, this food organization talks about three mandate, that is nutrition, increase of agriculture productivity, and rise of standard of living of the poor. So to meet the demands posed by the major global trends in agriculture development and challenges faced by the member, FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, identify key priorities on which it is placed to intervene. A comprehensive review of organization and comparative advantage are undertaken to enable strategic objectives to be set, representing the main areas of work on which FAO works, so that to achieve such a achieve these three mandates, they have been working tirelessly, and they have certain strategic objectives that to be met, and they always work for the betterment of the people that have a vision of saying that have a vision, and it can be considered as a global goals. International Monetary Fund. International Monetary Fund was established in 1944, aftermath the Great Depression of 1930s. 44 founding members of countries sought to build a framework for international economic cooperation. Today, its membership embraces up to 190 countries with staff down to 150 nations. IMF is governed by governed by and accountable to those 190 countries that make up its clear near global membership. So who is accountable? Who are the members that are accountable? 190 members are accountable to the International Monetary Fund. So it looks after the economic cooperation between different countries. So this is your International Monetary Fund, and I have already completed the chapter also. So please compile your notes. If you have not, please submit me. Till then, stay safe and take care.